sexual offenders meeting. So just first we'd like to start off with roll call. And I believe everybody is here. Is that correct?
I see everybody present. I will reflect that in the minutes.
Okay. Next is approval of the agenda for the October 21st meeting. Does anybody have any changes, deletions, or adds?
So moved.
If not, I'd like a motion to approve the agenda for today.
Motion to approve. So moved.
I'll second it. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, I'll put that as unanimous approval.
Next up is the minutes from September the 9th. Does anybody have any comments, edits, or deletions they want to bring up? If not, I'd like a motion to approve the minutes from our September 9th meeting, please.
I'll make a motion to approve those.
Second.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
All right, I will mark all as yes.
All right, great. All right, we're going to start off with our first appeal of Oscar Munoz. Sir, are you here today?
Right here.
All right, great. Looks like you're looking to move to 1264 Crook Street Upper, is that correct?
Yes.
All right. As we get started, I just want to give you some points here. First is, as we talk about your case, we just make sure you refer to the people as the victim. Don't refer to them by name or surname, or if there was any type of relationship prior. And then second of all, if we do want to talk about your any of your treatment programs, you have the right to do that either in private session or in public session. Which would you prefer?
Either one's fine.
So are you okay with public session then?
Yes.
Okay, so noted. All right, sir. It looks like you were convicted of possession of child pornography back in November of 2014. Is that correct?
Yes.
All right. Can you give me the circumstances in which you started watching child pornography and what led you to it?
Well, I had an inability to deal with depression and anxiety, and it wasn't anything I was seeking. It just kind of, I ran into it. I mean, I couldn't cope with things, and pornography was something that I used to cope with. I mean, aside from also like overeating and drinking, it wasn't anything that I was seeking, so.
I guess the question I have, sir, is at some point you did seek it out because you're convicted of having it. So can you give me more, I guess, what did you get out of it? What draw you to it versus other type of pornography? A little more detail, please.
Okay. As I stated, it wasn't anything that I was really seeking. I fell into it. It wasn't an allure to it. I just happened to stumble upon it, and it was there, available. I mean, it's not a proud moment for myself. I mean, I'm not.
Okay.
May I?
Go ahead.
Mr. Munoz, you were charged with 10 individual counts of possession of child pornography. So that means you had at least 10 images, because that's how they charge. So I understand when you say it wasn't something, you say it wasn't something that you were seeking out, but you were looking at child pornography. But when you have 10 separate images, that's quite a bit. And it wasn't that you saw it once and decided, oh, I'm never going to do this again. You continued to have these images on your computer. When you realized that these were children depicted in these images, you kept them, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So the question is, why did you keep them?
I had no control over my, let me just rephrase that. In the process of finding other media that I was looking for, that kind of happened to fall in my possession. And there was just so many media files that I had that I couldn't go through all of them to individually pick them out and delete them or get rid of them. And it just stayed on my computer.
Sir, how were you caught, or did this become known that you had possession of pornography?
I guess a detective had happened to cross my IP service, and they were sharing a file that I had on my computer.
Did someone just come to your residence and then ask to view your computer?
No, I was stopped in the community, and I guess they issued a search warrant for my residence, and they confiscated my computer.
All right. I guess a couple things are coming. You went through SO2 training, correct?
Yes.
Okay. One thing that concerns me here is both Melissa and I asked several questions as to, why this occurred, why you were drawn to it, and you kind of shook your head. You weren't really sure. So my question is what did you get out of SO2? Because usually they go over this quite a bit in regards to, the reasons why a person starts this way, how to avoid it in the future, and none of that seemed to come up.
Well, I got a lot of things in class. I was given a lot of information that I can use now. And it's still hard for me to actually express the feelings that I had at the time. And I'm learning to cope with things a lot better. And obviously, I don't think pornography was any solution for any problem that I had in the past.
When did you complete your SO2? Before I ask that, Mr. Munoz waived, correct?
Excuse me?
Okay, I'm sorry, I missed that. Mr. Munoz, when exactly did you complete your SO2 treatment?
We completed in May of this year.
Can I ask a few questions going on into other areas?
Sure.
Anybody else? Okay. Do you have a job lined up for your release?
No.
Okay. And where it shows that your father, Pedro, is the individual who owns the property at 1264 Crooks Upper, or 1264 Crooks, right?
Yes.
Okay. Where does he live?
He lives downstairs.
And where does your mother live?
She lives on Stewart Street.
Okay, so approximately how far from, 1264 Crooks does your mom live?
I am not sure.
Okay, that's fair. And besides your mother and father, do you have any siblings in the area?
My immediate family lives in Green Bay.
And who are they?
I have,
If you just say relationship, that's fine.
I have a brother that lives in De Pere, a sister, and two sisters that live in Go. I have 4 sisters that live in Green Bay.
Okay. And have any of them come to visit you or contact you while you've been incarcerated?
Yes.
Okay. And the ones, how many of them have been, come to visit you?
2.
2 of the 4?
Yes.
Okay. And do all 4 of them know why, the reasons for you being in prison?
I believe so.
Okay. Did you discuss what happened with any of them?
No.
And you said you had a brother,
Yes.
and you said he lives in Green Bay, correct?
He lives in De Pere.
Oh, De Pere, I'm sorry. Did he come to visit you at all?
He did for some time.
Okay. And does he know why you were sent to state prison?
Yes.
Did you discuss that with him?
Not during our visits.
Okay, but at some time you discussed the reason for you going to state prison?
Briefly, I mean,
I just want to make sure I understand whether or not they know what your conviction is.
yes, they understand.
Okay. And do they support you? Are they willing to support you? Not necessarily financially, but once you come back into the community?
I'm sure they are.
Have you asked them?
I don't make too many phone calls here. I mean, I write letters. The main contact that I do have are with my father and my mother.
Okay. And how do you plan on supporting yourself?
I'm searching for a job. My dad had said that he might be able to get me a job at his place, or my brother, he works for a company as well, that they might be able to get an application for me so I can try and see if I can work with them.
Does your father own his own business?
No.
What about your brother?
No.
Okay. Let's see here. No further questions?
I have a question. Mr. Munoz, on your application, you indicated that you lived in Green Bay from 2000 to 2006. Your offense date was in November of 2014, and you were convicted in 2015. Where did you live from 2006 to 2014?
In De Pere?
Okay. Okay.
Any other questions anybody has?
When you were talking earlier about the different media that you were viewing, you said other media. So what other media were you looking at to get to the child pornography?
I was downloading music, movies, and pornography.
Adult pornography?
Yes.
And did you write your form? I'm curious about the statement that you wrote about how this sexual crime affected your victim. I'm wondering if you could explain that to me. Do you have the form in front of you?
I do not have any.
Okay. Well, it says, I feel this offense has disrupted these victims from the healing of the harm they suffered.
Correct.
Can you just explain that to me a little more?
Well, obviously, they have to go through a healing process for themselves. And by me viewing their images, I, in a sense, re-victimize them again. And I now know that that's my victim, in a sense. And I just hope that they can find the peace that they're looking for.
Okay, thank you.
I have a question. Lieutenant Van Egren, is what he's telling us pretty accurate, or do you have more details as to what transpired?
Yeah, what he's saying is accurate. So an undercover detective was able to download the child pornography from his computer to theirs, and they used that to obtain a search warrant, which they then served at his house to obtain his computer where they found these child pornography on it.
Okay, any other questions?
When are you released?
I am due November 10th.
Do you know if you're going to be, if your parole agent is going to have you enroll in any additional sex offender treatment?
I do not. I know that I completed my class, and I was under the guidelines of more aftercare.
Can you go on and explain what that's about?
The psychologists here, after you complete your program, if there's a need for aftercare, they would recommend that to your agent. And I have not had a conversation about that with my agent. So as far as I know, I am not scheduled to have any more aftercare. But in my own defense, I am going to start seeking my own personal treatment. Either be psychological or more SO based treatment, I guess we say.
Why is that? Why do you feel the need to, why do you want to seek additional treatment?
I feel that I have I guess, just for me, for my own healing, I guess, after this, I knew that I had to go find my own kind of treatment, and obviously ended up in here. It just has constituted that opportunity to do better for myself, and enrolling in my own kind of treatment will benefit me, I guess.
If we asked you to enroll in an additional sex offender class, would you do that?
Yes.
Okay, any other questions? All right, does anybody want to make a motion? I'm going to make a motion to deny Oscar Munoz to 1264 Crook Street. Is there a second?
I'll second.
All right, so with the motion to deny, a yes vote is to deny, a no vote is to oppose the motion.
Did you get my vote? I
I did, I'm just waiting on Faye right now.
It just popped up again.
Motion passes 4-1.
All right, sir, you have been denied to move to the address that you had specified at this time. It doesn't preclude you from reapplying if your circumstances change in the future, or there's something different on your application you want us to review. Do you have any questions?
No.
All right, thank you. Next up is Mr. Jonathan Gretzinger.
He's on here, we just need him to unmute.
Can you hear me?
We can hear you.
Yes.
Okay.
All right, Mr. Gretzinger. We're here to have your appeal where you want to move to 2641 West Point Road in Green Bay, is that correct?
Correct.
And you're currently living at 3107 Devoy Lane?
Yep.
All right. How long have you lived there?
Well, I got out of prison about 6 months ago, and I've been here the whole time. I've lived here previously before that for probably around 10 to 11 years.
Okay. Sir, you know that you were in violation of our ordinance?
Oh, Dean, that address is
Yeah.
outside of the city limits.
It is outside, so.
Yes.
Okay, then you're not. Okay, I'm sorry.
Okay.
Usually because 99 or 98% of the city is you can't live there, so when I just saw the Green Bay address, I assumed, so I apologize.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's actually in Howard, I guess, so.
Okay. So, sir, we're going to go over your case again, and again, just from the standpoint of refer to the person just as the victim or victims,
Sure.
not by their personal name. And then also, if you want to talk about your treatment programs, you have the right to do it either public or private session, which would you prefer?
No, public's fine.
All right. So tell us how your offense occurred, and what were you doing, and how it was caught.
I was taking a lot of Adderall at the time, and I started looking at a lot of different kind of pornography. And I downloaded a lot of different kinds, and child pornography, unfortunately, it was one of those kinds. I believe I had it on my computer for around 3 months, and then I was using my brother's internet at the time, so they came and raided his place, and they didn't find anything, but he told the the officers that I was using his internet. So then they came and questioned me when I was at work, and then determined that they could have a search warrant to search my place, and then they found it on my hard drive.
Okay. Can you tell us why you were drawn to child pornography?
Well, at the time I was taking a lot of like drugs, as I was saying, like a lot of Adderall in particular, and I was just looking at a lot of different like adult pornography, and that just kind of led me to that, and that's why I downloaded it. It was just something different, I guess.
Okay. So it looks like you had a little bit of drug training, but nothing with sex offender training, correct?
Correct. When I got my Compass examination done, they classified me as SO1. They determined I didn't have to do anything while I was incarcerated, but after I got out, I would have to do some most likely one-on-one counseling, and which is, I'm doing one-on-one counseling right now with my agent. When I was incarcerated, I did complete the ERP program, which included some cognitive behavioral practices and like role plays and behavior chains, and also now I'm continuing, with the behavior chains and the counseling with my agent, and like working on more cognitive practices and coping skills.
Okay. Are you currently employed, sir?
I am. I work at Stein Garden and Home. I'm a department lead there.
Okay. Officer, does his account reconcile with what you see?
Yes, it does.
All right. I'll open up the questions to the rest of the floor.
You said you were using Adderall. Were you using any other drugs?
I was smoking marijuana at the time and Oxycontin. Once in a while I was taking some Oxycontin as well.
And did you agree to public on your treatment?
I'm sorry, what was that?
Yes, you did.
Okay. So the only counseling you're having is with your agent?
Yep, I was told that was all that would be available for me right now, so that's what I'm doing.
And how often is that?
Once every 2 weeks. I was going every week, and then my agent put me back down to every other week, so it's once every 2 weeks now.
It looks like you were sentenced to 3 years, but you served 1 year and 11 months. Can you explain that? How did that happen?
With the program I took when I was incarcerated is an earned release program. So what that means is after you complete the program, you get released out of prison, but that extra time gets added to your probation time. So I'm serving the rest of that time on probation. Yep, you're welcome.
Are you allowed any access to the internet now?
No. Only through agent approval I am.
Let's see, who are you, let's see, this is over on West Point that you want to move to. Are you going to be living alone?
I will be living alone, but it's going to be in a duplex. And on the other side of the duplex, my brother lives there, and he did get approved as a chaperone through my agent. So she talked to him and everything, and he is an approved chaperone, so he'll be living right next door to me.
Now, go ahead, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry about that. I have lived there. I was living there before too, prior to my incarceration. I just want to throw that in there.
Now, with regards to the documentation that was submitted with your application,
Yep.
what did you put together? Did you do anything, or was this all, everything your mom had gathered?
I'm sorry, did I do anything?
Did you gather together yes, to submit to us so that we could take it into consideration when looking at your application?
As far as like.
There's the transcript of your plea, there are all these letters of reference letters from your sentencing.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, my mother helped me with that.
Okay. And have you ever discussed with either of your parents exactly what you did?
Yes.
And when was that? Is that recently, since you've been released, or was that before you were sentenced to state prison?
That was before I was sentenced, and she's here my mom is here with me right now too as well.
Okay. And if I remember correctly, before you were sentenced to state prison, you also worked at Stein?
Yep. I worked there previously, and they knew exactly why I went to prison and everything, and they welcomed me back when I got released, and I even got offered a promotion within a few months after getting out of the prison. So.
And forgive me if you said this and I missed it, but you received drug treatment counseling while you were in prison?
Yes, I did complete the substance use disorder program, which is part of the ERP.
Okay. If we asked you to enroll and complete sex offender treatment, would you do that?
Yes.
No other questions for me?
All right, anybody else?
Yes, when were you released?
It was April, and it was late April of this year.
So, my question is, you yourself don't feel you need any sex offender treatment, but if we asked for it, you would do it, but you, not on your own?
I honestly, I don't really feel a problem with it. I think I have myself under control in that, in that aspect. But if you wanted me to do it, I would.
Can I ask how long you were looking at the pornography?
It was just a brief period of a couple months.
I mean, one of the things that kind of struck me in everything I was reading on this one is that the judge tried to really make you understand that, you weren't just watching child pornography, you were abusing children, because that's what this is about, is abusing
Right.
children. So I'm trying to reconcile with what the judge said in the sentencing, what he wanted to do versus what he had to do statutorily, and your comments today. So I guess my feeling is how do you feel about abusing children?
I think it's horrible. I didn't realize at the time when, I did that was actually, child abuse. I just didn't realize it. But now after going through all this, I can see now that what I did, that is, considered child abuse, and I feel horrible about it.
I'm gonna step, I just want to jump on what you just said, because it struck me. You said it is considered child abuse. It is child abuse. It's child sexual abuse. When you view...
I understand that. I'm sorry. It probably was just a bad choice of words, but yes, it is child abuse.
And you said you were only looking at pornography in general for a couple of months?
No, not in general. I was just referencing the child pornography. But yeah, pornography I've been looking at longer, throughout my life.
And I'm sorry, what started you into downloading pornography?
I don't know. I guess just being curious about, things like that when I was younger. I can't really pinpoint one exact moment of, when I wanted to, go out and do that. I think I was just young and curious, and I just wanted to see what was out there.
Okay, but when you say young and curious, you were 32 when you were convicted of this.
Well,
okay.
I'm sorry. I was just saying that when I first started looking at pornography way back, when I was a younger adult,
How old were you?
17 or 18.
Okay, so that's at least over 10 years, if not more.
Right.
And for some reason, you segued from adult pornography into child pornography.
Right. I took a lot of Adderall and just downloaded a lot of different things, and it just, it just happened.
Well, no, it doesn't just happen. you actually have to look for it on these different sites and in the dark web where they have it. And then you actually have to select different things, enter into search terms and click on things you like and then download it. Okay? And well, isn't that what you did?
Yes.
Okay. And then you didn't do it just one time, you did it multiple times, and then you kept those images for a couple months?
Right.
Okay. And to transition from adult pornography to child pornography, there's a huge difference in what you're looking at as far as the maturity of the individual's body. And my concern is that in reading a lot of the sentencing, they're all very great, by the way. All of the character references, they're great. But it seems like they did not fully understand what was going on, what you were doing, and they seemed to kind of lay blame elsewhere, blaming it on the Adderall, your dad blaming it on the availability on the internet, when in fact there's only one person who did all this, and that's you.
Right.
Okay? And my concern is, based on your statements today, that I don't think you fully appreciate the magnitude of what you did, the seriousness of what you did, and the harm that will continue to go on for pretty much ever for those children who are depicted in those images. Because children can't make that choice. They can't. They're groomed in order to get them to comply. And then that takes a while. And sometimes they're just simply forced. And so I could tell you now that I am not comfortable voting to approve you to that residence, simply based on the information you gave me. I give you so much credit for having a great work ethic. I give you credit for the fact that the people who work with you want you back. But that's not what we're here for. We're here because of the crime that you committed. Thank you.
I just want to make a statement. You know, when I read the transcript, I mean, the judge didn't even want to sentence you to 3 years in prison, but he had to by law. He said he would have dissuaded you with 6 months in the county jail. So for a judge who has 28 years experience, I think he kind of realized potentially what you did. You took credit for it, and unfortunately, he had to sentence you to 3 years. He said you are not a harm or threat to society. So I mean, I tend to lean towards what a judge of that caliber has to say. It's just my opinion.
I will say, just so it's out there, I prosecuted these cases for years. And unless somebody is a psychologist and actually works with individuals who prefer that type of material and seek it out, I don't think anybody's capable of saying whether or not someone is or isn't a threat. I don't, because there are people who we didn't think were threats and people who we did, and we got it wrong. It's all pleading no contest and knowing what sentence you're getting is completely different than having to come to terms in your own mind and admitting what you did and having other people in your family that you love and who love you understand exactly what was depicted on those images. So with all due respect, I think Judge Atkinson is wonderful, but based on my experience, I don't agree with that conclusion.
Okay, appreciate everybody's comments. Rachel, do we have anybody who wants to speak for him or against him, or else I'm gonna ask for a motion?
I'm not aware of anyone, requesting to speak.
Okay,
Could I?
go ahead.
Hi.
Could I have
I'm
your
Dawn.
name, ma'am, could I have your name and address before you begin?
Yes, my name is Barb Gretzinger. My address is 3107 Devery Lane in Green Bay, Wisconsin.
All right, go ahead.
I just wanted to let you know that I do know John obviously very well. We're very close. He's lived with me on and off, and I do know what kind of person he is. I know he feels horrible about what he did. I understand what he did. It was not a good thing. It was a horrible thing that he did. I think he's really being incarcerated and going through what he's gone through. I think he, totally understands the magnitude of it and the consequences of his actions, and he realizes, what, we've talked about it, what he did and how it could, really be affecting, the victims in the situation. I just really feel I know what kind of person he is. I don't feel that he is a threat. Obviously, I'm his mother, but, I'm very close to him, and he has a tremendous amount of support. Myself, his dad lives in Green Bay, and his brother, and he has uncles and aunts and cousins and stuff that live in Green Bay that would support him. And I honestly think that, right now he's living with me, and I think, he wants to make a future, and obviously this is horrible, and he's never going to forget it, and he suffered greatly, I can tell you that. But, for him to be able to go forward and be a productive member of society, have his own place, instead of living with his mother, and being able to once again become, a citizen of Green Bay where, he's got his own residence, he can turn a new leaf and grow as a person. He has aspirations to own his own business. I think it would be really good for him to be able to go out on his own and, just kind of build his future. I think living with me is fantastic. I love having him here. He's a great person, incredible person, and, I like having him here, but I think it's very important for him in his future to build, to move on from this and be a productive person. He needs to be able to get out on his own and, prove himself. But I would support him. My fiance, who's been with me 17 years, his dad and his dad's fiance, who he's been with for a long time, that live in Green Bay, and his brother, we're all here to support him. But I really feel, for him to be able to get out on his own again and, move forward, I think is kind of important, so.
All right, thank you. All right, does anybody want to make a motion?
Let's see, I will move to approve at the specific, address.
All right, is there a second?
I'll second.
And just to be clear, the specific address being 2641 West Point Road, is that accurate, Faye?
Correct, yes.
Okay, thank you. Motion fails 3-2.
Right, sir. Currently, your motion has failed to allow you to live at the location that you requested.
Okay.
As such, it doesn't mean you cannot reapply at a future date, but at this time, the board has rejected your application. Just from my standpoint, in terms of anything that would change, I think,
Yep.
you know, looked at the other case and your case, I think that, you know, getting that additional training and understanding, I think is important for us to understand where you're at.
Okay.
And so that's one thing that I personally would suggest you do before you come back. But again, it's up to you, and I can't speak for the rest of the board members, but I'm just speaking for myself.
Okay.
I agree. I would feel much more comfortable, if I knew that you were not only enrolled in sex offender treatment, that had been attending, consistently for a period of time.
All right. Well, thank you very much. We'll move on to our next case.
Thank you.
All right. Next, is, Tammy Bonfus. Tammy, are you here?
Yes, I am.
All right, Tammy, it looks like, you're looking to move to 319 13th Avenue, is that correct?
Correct.
All right, Tammy, you've, been in front of us, several different times. Can you tell us, first of all, why you, are looking to move?
So currently I'm in a 2-bedroom upper, and I have 2 children plus myself there. And my 12-year-old is getting old enough where she needs her own room instead of being in the room with me.
Okay. And are you currently employed, ma'am?
Yes, I am. I work at Slums Partners.
Okay. And does this, place meet with the expectation that you can't afford?
It meets with everything that I can afford.
That you can't afford, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't see any changes in any of your, you've had nothing with the law since the last time we talked. So I don't have any questions unless somebody else does. All right, does anybody want to make a motion?
Motion to approve address specific.
I'll second.
That was address specific to 319 13th Avenue.
Yes, thank you.
Motion passes unanimously.
Right, Ms. Bonfiles, where would you like this, sent?
Can you send it to my current address where I'm at?
Will do.
All right, thanks very much. Have a good day.
Thank you.
Next is up, Keith, Riemann? Riemann?
Yeah, Wyman.
Ryman? Sorry?
Yeah.
All right, Keith, looks like in your case, you're looking to move to 1232 East Walnut Street, apartment 2B?
Correct.
All right. And last time you were in front of us was, April the 17th, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, and why are you looking to move?
Okay, I have my girlfriend, Joanne Ward, which is right here. I've been with her for the last, February of last year, about a year and a half going on. The relationship has been going very well, and I feel like this is a big step for me to move forward in my life and commit myself to her. And I think it's a good move.
Are you still employed, sir?
Yes, at the same company, Wisconsin Plastics. I've moved up in level. I'm now overseeing my own building.
Okay. Any questions for him from anybody else?
Is this address, is your girlfriend, has she lived there, or are you both just moving into a new place?
She's been here since August of last.
Did you say August of last year? You kind of cut out.
Yes, that is correct.
Okay.
And it looks like you're still seeing, Mr. Drake. You're in, sex offender treatment with Mr. Drake?
Yes, I've been with Mr. Jim Drake for 4 years now. I started in 2016.
Okay, thank you.
How often do you see him?
We were going every single week in the beginning. Now it's every other week. All in between the years, I've had group. I was seeing him for 3 weeks, and now we're down to twice a month.
Do you still feel you're getting value from him and what you're learning?
Yes. I'm always learning something from him. I've learned a lot from him. I feel like I've gotten a lot of knowledge on how to deal with things. It's great. Whenever I go, he always tells me to just open up and tell him, everything, and I do. And it's a great feeling because it allows me to work on things and not. He said one of my issues was bottling things up, and like when I talk to him, I open up, and that's great.
Okay. Any other questions for him?
Dean,
Or does anybody want to make a motion?
Dean, his probation officer is on here. I don't know if she wanted to say anything.
Yeah, my name's Amy. I'm Keith's probation officer. I have been from the beginning. Keith's been in compliance with all of his supervision, and I was able to talk to Joanne's landlords before they agreed to allow him to live at the property, so.
Thank you for being here.
Yes, thank you.
Amy, could I get your full name and address just for the record?
Yeah, for sure. So Amy's A-M-Y, last name is Kosmoski. It's K-O-S, M as in Mary, O-S-K-I. And then our office is at 125 South Jefferson Street. We're in Suite 301.
Thank you.
Yep.
All right, does anybody want to make a motion?
Motion to approve address specific, which is 1319 Day Street, 1232 East Walnut Street, Green Bay, apartment 2B.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Motion passes unanimously.
All right, sir, which address would you like this notice sent to?
Go ahead and send it to the new address, 1232 East Walnut.
All right, thank you very much. You have a good day.
Yeah, you too. Thank you.
Next up is Mr. McGowan.
Hello.
All right, sir. We're here to look at your appeal to move to 332 South Chestnut Avenue. Is that correct?
Yes, sir, that's correct.
Okay.
If I may, you were here in August, correct?
Yes, ma'am, that's correct.
And between August and today, what's changed?
Well, actually, it turns out that I have been in sex offender treatment since September of last year. I've been seeing Dr. Jim Drake over this course. However, when I went to the meeting here a couple of months ago, beforehand I read the letter and it didn't mention anything about my sex offender treatment or my progress with that. And I didn't want to misrepresent myself in any way, so I declined to indicate if I was or wasn't. I wasn't entirely sure about that, and like I said, I didn't want to misrepresent myself. So I discounted it. I got some clarification from both my probation agent, Marta Lazansky, and from my therapist, Dr. Jim Drake, which they both concluded that, yes, in fact, I have been in sex offender treatment program since September of 2019. I see Jim Drake regularly once a week. We spend about an hour together, phone right now because no contacts. And he says I'm doing really well. I think I'm doing really well too. I've learned quite a bit from him, mostly with transparency issues, intimacy, and my emotions.
So before we, I guess, follow up with that, we just have to make sure that, obviously, that you're okay with talking about your treatment program in public. I'm assuming you're okay with that?
Oh, absolutely. Yes, sir.
Okay. So I guess, thank you for the clarification for the last time. And
yes, sir.
I received a letter here from Mr. Drake. So tell me, when you affected, through a sexual offense that happened, tell me what was going on in your life then versus what's going on now, and how you're able to manage changes that are happening versus before.
Okay, yes, sir. I've had a lot of issues with intimacy, boundaries, trust. I've had some issues with drug and alcohol abuse, just overall insecurity with myself, with other people. A lot of that then was about me, my own personal and instant gratifications, and I just had little or no empathy towards other people. Now, after spending 12 years in prison and being out for over a year, speaking with counselors, therapists, and just working to improve myself, I've learned a great deal about empathy, trust, intimacy, and boundaries. I've been clean and sober for 13 years now. I haven't had any relapses, drugs, abuse, anything at all like that. I'm regularly seeing my counseling, Jim Drake. I see Marta Lazansky, my probation agent, regularly, and I'm engaging with pro-social others. I avoid risky situations, risky places. I've been in a stable relationship for over a year now. I've been living with the person that I want to move in with on Chestnut Avenue, Brian Blodgett. He was at the board a couple months ago too with me, and we're talking about this is the first time that they've had two people that wanted to live together in the same place. That's my partner, and just for the fact, I've been homeless since I've been out, and I've been staying with him for almost all this time for the past year. So we do have, a history of living together. No issues there. I'm open. I'm transparent with him. We're very, how can I say this? We're very integral with each other, and I've learned a great deal of trust being with him. He's introduced me to positive people. I have my family again, and he's just very supportive of me. That's with staying clean, keeping myself intact, and he's very supportive with my therapy and sex offender treatment. He also recently graduated sex offender treatment program, and he helps me with mine, with some of the notes that he took from his class, his group, and we discuss that regularly. He helps keep me on board. We discuss my crime and how it impacted my victim and what I can do to prevent that from ever happening in the future.
Okay. Anybody have any additional questions for him? All right.
Go ahead.
No, I was just going to go ahead. If you have a question, go ahead.
I do. Okay, so the last time you were before us, you said you were not in treatment, or you were in treatment and you weren't at that time?
I wasn't exactly sure the dynamics of the treatment program. It didn't say in my letter that I was, so I wasn't exactly certain as to,
how far my treatment was going that. So I just didn't acknowledge it that I actually was working with it. I just wasn't entirely certain of it, and again, I didn't want to misrepresent myself in any way or, come across that I was in something when maybe I wasn't. My understanding of SO treatment was, a little bit more in a open concept setting, like with a group, things like that, just like how my partner was in a group with, I think it was Hanger's group he was in. And I just didn't entirely, understand it or, have the full value concept behind it. I do know that, for the past over a year now that I've been in it, Dr. Jim Drake and I have been talking every week about my crime and, how it affected my victim, assuming responsibility and taking ownership.
Anything else, Renee?
No, that's enough.
All right, does anybody want to make a motion in regards to Mr. McGowan? I'd like to make a motion to approve Mr. McGowan address specific for a term of 6 months, at which time he'd have to come back to us and give us an additional update on his sex offender training that he's had with Mr. Drake.
I'll second.
All right, go ahead and vote.
Just to be clear, the address specific is 332 South Chestnut
Yes.
Avenue?
Yes.
Okay. Motion passes 4-1.
All right, sir, you've been approved to 332 Chestnut Avenue South. What you need to make sure that when we send the letter to you that you reappear in 6 months with documentation to prove that you've still been in consistent treatment.
Yes, sir.
And where that stands.
Yes, sir. Could I have that letter sent to the Beaumont Street mailing address, please?
I'll send it there.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, next up is Mr. James Bellinger.
He's on here, I just have to unmute him. Mr. Bellinger, you'll need to unmute yourself.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes. All right, sir, the last time we heard from you was back in September of 2019. And so that time you were living at 900 School Place, correct?
Yes, it is.
Right, and you're looking to move to 1210 South Broadway, Apartment A?
Yes.
Okay, can you tell us why you're looking to relocate, sir?
The relationship I had dissolved. We both had COVID for 5 weeks and decided we didn't want to be together anymore.
Okay.
So it's her house, so I have to go elsewhere.
All right. Are you still employed, sir?
Yes.
Where are you employed at?
Meat processors in Green Bay.
And how long have you been there?
I believe about 6 months.
Okay. I don't see anything from a standpoint of any additional altercations.
No, I just work and go home.
Okay.
Where were you working before the last time we saw you? Or where were you working the last time we saw you?
I believe I was working at Ace Manufacturing at a CNC shop. I didn't like how the whole atmosphere was, so I left, went to a paper plant, and they shut down due to COVID, and then I got this job, and I've been there since.
All right. Any additional questions for him? Does anybody want to make a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve, Mr. Bellinger to 1210 South Broadway, Apartment A, address specific.
Seconded?
Motion passes unanimously.
All right, sir, where would you like this, this notice sent to?
The school place address, I would not be able to move in until the 1st at the earliest.
Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you guys very much.
Yep. Our next meeting is scheduled for November 18th at 4 p.m.
I will not be there.
Okay.
I am making note of this.
And correct me if I'm wrong, that's the day before Thanksgiving, right?
Week, is it a week before?
Okay.
Please tell me it's a week
It's,
before.
it's the week before.
It is.
It's the week before, okay, okay, good. All right, is there anything else anybody needs to talk about, or else I can ask for a motion to adjourn? All right, anybody make a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Right. Okay, Renee, seconds, all in favor?
Aye.
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 I think you got us as all 100% there, Rachel.
Thanks, Al.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
Yeah.
Bye, everyone.